Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dobby.
And I'm Matthew.
And this is Inside the Pylon.
Before we start today, I just wanted to give a special shout out to my grandfather who passed away yesterday. He was a big inspiration and was a big part of my support growing up. Even when he was on oxygen and could barely breathe and move around, he still made a point to come out to my games and watch me and, just make sure that he was still always there for me and just showed me what being a tough guy and what strength really is. So just special thanks to you, Gramps. I love you. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. So it's finally time, Matt. We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. It's kind of been a little bit of a dead period between the Super Bowl and the new league year, but we are 1 week away from the start of free agency and getting into the new league year.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got it, guys. Today is our free agency preview. So, wow. I mean, as far as the news cycle has gotten, it's ready. It's pumping, it's flowing, and it's going
There's
again.
been a lot of moves this week being made, and I'm excited for next week. I can only imagine what's going to happen then.
Yeah, no,
there's a lot of talent in free agency this year. I mean,
very interesting.
We're going to get into later in the show our top 5 in each category of free agencies, and there's a lot of guys on that list that isn't going to make it. That it's just so stacked this year. I'm excited to see all the moves.
We will talk about that position by position as far as that goes, but obviously we have to lead off with what really started it all and kicked off this week. Dak Prescott re-signed 4 years, $160 million. He got the deal he wanted. Jerry Jones joked around with him and said, if there was anybody that was ever going to rob me of money, it was going to be you, Dak. And he was so happy for that, but obviously that's the biggest one. It was huge.
He got a lot of guaranteed money, over 120 or something?
Close. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I know you feel some way about him getting paid that highly. I've heard you talk about it all week, but I love this.
I mean,
you secure your top quarterback when you got him.
Now you got to play. Now there's no reason you can't get injured. You got to take them to the playoffs some way.
Let me stop you there. You can't say,
I know.
You can't get
injured. But I mean, like,
if
you get beat up. But if you got to play beat up. If you're playing this much money, you got to win games.
That's fine.
Like, if you tear your ACL or something, you can't prevent that. You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't prevent what happened to him last year, Matthew.
No, that was sad. It was very sad. It was. But
he's been a tough player, though. He's never been, I'm going to take a game off because my ankle's sore. You know what I mean? That's never
I just want to see him win a lot of games because of this money.
They went 13-3 in one of his years and was the top team in the NFC. You know what I mean? It's not like the guy can't win games.
No, I know. It's just
the Cowboys need to figure out what they're doing. Their O-line's getting old. Zeke hasn't been playing at his elite level. All around him, you know what I mean? I can't blame Dak for that.
No, I don't. I don't either. It's just it's tough giving that much money to someone that hasn't been consistently good. I mean, yes, he's getting hurt, but it's a lot of money for me. It's just a lot.
I understand, and I mean that's fine. But other than that, and I do want to make this very clear before we get into the rest of the players that re-signed, were cut, etc. It's very fluid and moving right now in the offseason. So as we're recording this on Friday. There's things that are going on right now that we're not going to be able to catch because this video will be dropping on Saturday morning. So just keep that in mind that we're not going to be able to get everything as it's coming through. This isn't a live show, obviously. But other than that, Taylor Heineke, 2 years, about $5 million.
I liked it.
Really good re-signing, cheap re-signing at that.
Exactly,
too.
And I mean, he's got a lot of upside for
I agree.
Barely no money. I mean, honestly, that's a really good signing for Washington. I think what they're actually starting to get a squad together and what they're doing starting to click and come together.
And this one was weird to me. Nathan Peterman is still in the league. 1 year,
Let's give him some more money. Why not?
Yeah, to throw 5 picks in a game.
I don't.
Whatever. And then the other big one that we had too, I think you got a couple that we wrote in before the show because it had just happened, but the other really big one, and this one hurt me personally because we just cut Van Noy, but Levante David signed 2 year, $25 million. Great deal.
Yeah, that was good for both sides. I mean, you're getting paid good money for a short period of time, as well as the Bucs get a key piece back.
Yeah.
And then, we got Cam, who signed for 1 year.
Correct. That was surprising to me. I
actually thought he was coming back.
That's crazy.
I don't. I mean, it's only 1 year. Might as well. He didn't have a great year, but he didn't do too bad. It's like they had to figure out what they wanted to do. And I think now they have a better understanding what they can do with Cam and how they're going to operate.
The Patriots system, stuff like that. You have to get integrated in
Exactly. It just took them like a rough year. They're going to come back.
I can't wait for him to come back and ball.
I think he didn't. Belichick just didn't want to restart with another quarterback, try and go
That's
over.
fine.
Maybe
Now
draft
you
a guy exactly and let him go. And I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft that might slip.
Yeah. And then the last extension that you had today.
Yeah, so Tom Brady extended to the 2022 season, and what that does for the Bucs, it saved them $19 million in cap this year. So I mean, that's huge for them.
We just can't get rid of him.
He's not leaving. I mean, I love to see it because I mean he's just still at a high caliber, and I mean might as well. If someone's gonna do it, let's just see Tom go out and do it. Win another one, as long as it ain't against my Chiefs. Who cares?
I agree. So let's get into tag players, and oh man, there was a lot of tag players. Blindsided me, Allen Robinson.
That was the best. I think that was one of the best tags this year for the Bears. That's gonna be huge.
No, don't get me wrong. I was just surprised they did it because I didn't think Allen Robinson.
I thought he was gonna walk and go somewhere else too. But when I was surprised with you. But I honestly think out of most of these, that's one of the best ones.
It's definitely one of the best. Godwin Bucks, he got franchised.
I didn't see that either. Yeah,
that was very not only surprising, but I don't like it.
I thought you let him walk because I think they're gonna re-sign AB. But
here's the thing for me is I understand why they did it because it is so much more of a cheaper franchise tag than it would have been going with Levante David or Shaq Barrett. So from that perspective, I get it. I think you just let Godwin walk.
Just let him walk. Yeah, me too. I agree because I mean I guess we'll get into it later on, but I mean I think the Bucs are gonna get a couple more of these free agent guys back. So
yeah, but I don't think Shaq is.
No, not Shaq.
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
Yeah. But other than that, Taylor Moton with the Panthers, I like this deal. And he actually agreed to his franchise tag already.
Yeah.
Really good for both sides. You know, that's a guy, offensive tackles are not easy to come by. So when you have a good one, keep him. Cam Robinson, this one surprised me not only because, you know, he's an offensive tackle in the Jags, you know, with the most cap money, just franchise tag player. But from what I've seen on Twitter from Jags fans and stuff like that, they don't view Cam Robinson as this, you know what I mean, elite caliber, really good player that's worth a franchise tag. You're talking over $10 million for a guy that's maybe worth like $5.
Well, I mean, we'll see. The Jags got to make some plays, and I think they're going to just have to ride it out.
Yeah. And I mean, other ones we predicted last week, I'll just run through them real quick. Sheriff, Washington.
Yep.
Leonard Williams, Giants. Yep. I said he was probably going to get franchised. And then Simmons with the Broncos, no-brainers.
Yeah, so those were the better ones, too, of the franchise tags.
Absolutely no-brainers. Those guys, they all deserve to get franchise tagged, in my opinion. And we did predict it last week. If you haven't seen that, go back to that video and watch it. But other than that, the last two that we saw was Marcus May and Marcus Williams from the Saints and the Jets. Two safeties that, you know what I mean? May, I understood because, like, May is such a good safety, even on possibly the worst team in the NFL. And Marcus Williams, he doesn't get half enough credit for what he does in that Saints defense either. So I liked both of these. It just came out a little left field because I wasn't expecting it per se.
Yeah.
But nobody will ever forget what happened with Marcus Williams on that Stephon Diggs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever let him
That's iconic.
But he's a very good safety. So going into that too, that's it for the tag players. So now we're talking release players that have been cut over the past week, and there is quite a bit of players that got cut.
Yeah.
You want to start us off there, Matt?
I'll start us off. You had James Carpenter from the Falcons getting released, John Brown from the Bills.
That one was pretty shocking.
Yeah, that was
really good receiver.
Kenny Vaccaro from the Titans.
Kenny Vaccaro, that was another one that caught me by surprise. And then you got the Bills who doubled down. The Bills ended up releasing Quentin Jefferson and then obviously John Brown as well. I mean, that was kind of crazy. Yeah. Both of them at the same time. You also have Emmanuel Sanders from the Saints.
That's going to be a good pickup.
This one I understand because he probably was on a bit of a contract that was a little bit pricey. And he hasn't produced in about maybe like 2 years at the level he was for most of his career.
I still think he's got a lot of juice in him.
He might, but he is getting older.
Yeah,
Quan Alexander, wow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a linchpin of a defense, and he is now cut. Christian Jones for the Lions, LaMarcus Joyner from the Raiders, and Kevin Zeitler from the Giants, as well as Riley Reif from the Vikings. Yeah. That saved them $11 million. That's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, you got to save your money.
Exactly.
Especially with the decrease that we just had.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even mention that yet. Yeah, no, the cap room this year was $198 million last year. It has dropped $16 million to $182 this year.
And that's going to be big. You're looking at 1 to 2 players that you're not even going to be able to sign or give them the extra money. So I mean,
everybody loses.
Yeah, I know.
COVID hit hard.
Yeah.
And you will see like the ramifications in this years to come as we build that cap space back up. But yeah, I mean, right away, you know, that is like, I mean, that's why probably the Dolphins, I'm assuming they got Van Noy.
You got to save money. This made teams in debt. You know, they have to get rid of this money.
Exactly.
That's exactly why my Chiefs had to get rid of our two good offensive linemen, when we need help on the O-line. So, I mean, It's just putting teams in bad situations.
So, other news from this week, obviously, we have traded players and other players that get retired. We've mentioned a couple of these, but the biggest trades as far as that goes, Isaiah Wilson, who was drafted in the first round last year by the Titans, traded over to the Dolphins for a seventh rounder.
Yeah,
basically the pick swap.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the Dolphins, you just cashed in.
Yeah,
Titans
big
lose
time.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
You just missed on a first-round pick last year and then deemed him worth a seventh-round pick.
Especially with the Dolphins' defense and the guys I got over there in the organization, they can give them time to get.
Here's the thing: is like this is a low-risk move for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
obviously,
round,
there's a high chance that Wilson never develops anything because he's a first-round talent, but his off-the-field issues, and all that it factors in.
Yeah, of course. But a seventh rounder.
No, that's no gamble.
Exactly.
No doubt.
I'd take that shot.
I love that trade. And then another one I really like, but I looked into this a little more. Trent Brown, when he got traded back to the Patriots from the Raiders for a fifth rounder.
Yeah.
At first I was like, wow, that's a Pro Bowl caliber tackle. That's getting
but it was.
But I looked into it a little more, and Trent Brown really hadn't been doing as good as I thought.
He fell off a little bit.
But regardless, in my eyes, he's still in his 20s at this point. I think it was a great trade.
And especially because Patriots re-signing Cam. They're going to be a predominant running football team next year, and they needed that weapon to help them. So I mean, that was a good pickup, and fifth rounder, not too bad, So I mean, if it doesn't happen, I see them drafting a guy too, honestly.
Maybe. But obviously, other than that, we have the retired players. Phillip Rivers, we talked about. Anthony Sherman, Greg Olsen, Jason Witten, obviously, Potty, and then obviously the Pouncey twins are pretty much the only retired players to this point. So let's get into now a free agency preview. So the way we did this was, we didn't go with necessarily like a top 50 players or something like that because that's just it's a huge process going through each one and evaluating them that way. We probably should have. We might release that in another video or something like that. But so basically, we went through each position and gave our top 5 free agents for each position. So I'll start us off by giving my top 5s as we go through, and actually, kind of bounce off me here.
Yeah, because we got some similar picks. So like when I see something different, I'll mention it.
But you know what I mean. As I go through, with the quarterback stuff like that, we'll just go back and forth. We won't necessarily go. Here's my top 5.
Yeah.
Here's my top 5. So starting us off at the quarterback position. We kind of agreed on this one. Mitch Trubisky is probably the best available.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things like I looked at it and I was like, I really didn't even know that Trubisky's contract was up and he's a free agent. But obviously, I would say best among the worst because this is just not, in my eyes, a great quarterback class.
No, it's not. It's probably one of the weakest positions in free agency this year.
I would say so. So I put Brissett second, Fitzpatrick third, Cam Newton fourth, which obviously he's re-signed and off the market now, and then Alex Smith at the 5th position.
Yeah, we both had Trubisky at 1. I had Alex Smith at 2, just because what he brings.
Your love for Alex Smith just deters everything about this.
I'm sorry. And I got 3 at Brissett, 4 Fitzmagic, and 5 Winston. He still got it,
I did like that. I was thinking about including Winston. Obviously, if I had to swap out Cam Newton now, I would definitely put Winston in.
I think Winston still got some juice in him, especially in the right organization.
Of course. So that's the quarterbacks. Going into the running backs, Aaron Jones, far and away top dog.
Yeah,
we know
easily.
this.
And then number 2 and 3 is the same, and it's pretty close. Chris Carson and then Mack.
Yeah,
but we both got them as well. And then 4 is where we get different. You picked Fournette at 4, and I picked Gurley at 4 just because.
Dude, the thing is with me, Gurley's time is done.
You think so?
He's been so less productive than when he was Offensive Player of the Year. It's done. It's a done deal. Gurley's just running out of gas at this point.
Touchdown machine.
But you could do that with any back that's that size.
But still, the name and the touchdowns he scored last year.
I'm sorry, just Fournette's production in the playoffs.
I got Fournette at 5.
That's fine, but I put Gus Edwards at my 5 position because I'm putting him over Gurley too. Gus Edwards, he's so underrated. He's averaging like 4.5 to 5 yards a carry.
I'd like to see him stay with the Ravens.
I would too, and that's why they, as we're speaking on Gus Edwards, they put a second-round tender on him, and he's a restricted free agent.
Great move.
For those who don't know, a second-round tender and being a restricted free agent essentially means that if another team wants to sign Gus Edwards, they can sign it to a contract, but it goes straight back to the Ravens, and the Ravens have a chance to match that offer and keep him there. And the second-round tender they applied is if some other team does sign him away, now they owe the Ravens their second-round pick or a second-round pick. So keep that in mind with Gus Edwards. So now we're going into receivers, and wow, this is probably my lowest position in the whole entire free agent class.
Yeah, this one's deep, and like I said earlier, we're going to have a lot of guys that miss this list but are still great athletes. And it was pretty hard to come up with the top 5 for me personally. But we both agreed on Galloway being the first one.
Yeah, and then things start getting a little hectic. I put Juju second.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, his separation and stuff like that is just elite. Regardless of whatever, I wouldn't even necessarily call it off the field issues because it's not really an issue. He's just dancing on logos and enjoying himself as a person.
Yeah.
But I guess that comes along with it. So I have Juju too, and then another slot guy who's just super quick and can create tons of separation. Curtis Samuel, he doesn't get enough attention.
He's literally one of the fastest dudes in the league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know you have a difference in opinion, so go ahead and give it
all right.
now.
So 2, I got Emmanuel Sanders.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, you can say what you want,
So
but
blasphemous.
he played pretty well, and I think he can his ceiling's not done yet. He's still fast.
No,
guy.
he's hit his ceiling. He's in his 30s. He's hit his ceiling, man. He can't get any better than he was.
We'll see. I
guess.
just got something
Hot
about
take.
him.
Matthew says Emmanuel Sanders, second best receiver free agent class.
Yeah.
Wrong. Anyways, go ahead.
Juju Smith, 3. Will Fuller at 4. And then 5, Curtis Samuel. Pretty much all these guys are speed demons.
I couldn't get down with the fact that we put Will Fuller over Antonio Brown and Corey Davis.
All right, so.
And Corey Davis.
All right, so Corey Davis is a free agent?
Yes.
Didn't know that, so that's 1. 2,
you
AB.
some research.
Yeah, AB. He's gonna re-sign with the Bucks for a cheap contract.
Okay, that's
so
fine, but he's still a free agent, and he's
you're
better
right.
than Will Fuller.
Yeah, I just don't really. I'm not counting him because I think him and Gronk are both. Gronk's not on my tight end list either.
But we'll get into that in a second. But obviously we did leave off guys like T.Y. Hilton,
and then
who's
AJ
been so
Green.
Consistent his whole career.
It's
and the only thing is AJ Green's
but
a little aged out at this point. But I agree. There's just so many other receivers that we couldn't even fit in 5, obviously. So going into tight ends, and wow. You have a hot take here, and I'm going to absolutely rip you to shreds on this in a second here, but we agreed, number 1 clear consensus, Hunter Henry.
Easy. I didn't think he was going to be a free agent. I really thought the Chargers were going to pull the trigger and keep him there. They still got an opportunity, and I think they should take it because, you got a great quarterback who can launch the football, and Henry's a big, good target that's got solid hands. So, I think that was a no-brainer, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight through my 5 right now so we can get to your blasphemous take. I put Jonnu second, Gronk third, Tonyan, who had 10 touchdowns, should have been a Pro Bowl. He's restricted free agent, but should have been a Pro Bowl tight end last year. I put him 4th, and then Tyler Eifert based on 5. Aside from his injuries, he's a great player. But Matt, why don't you go ahead and tell us who had it second?
No, it's at 3rd.
Oh, it's at 3rd now because he had to change it for second.
Jonnu Smith and then Rudolph. He's giving me a hard time, but this man's a touchdown machine. Yeah, he only had 1 this season. Vikings
1 this year, and he only had 4 the year before, but
still has 48. Still has 48 in his season or his career. And you got to look at what offense he's on. It's Dalvin Cook's show, Just Jefferson.
But regardless, Kirk Cousins is a repeated 4,000-yard passer, and this guy the past 2 years he's only averaged like 400 yards a season his whole career, which isn't terrible. But I'm not putting him over guys like Jonnu and Gronk and
I said
all
Jonnu.
these guys.
I told you I left Gronk off because I personally feel that these two guys.
I can't let you get away with this. He
right.
had 300 receiving yards the past 2 years, and he's not even a touchdown machine.
Tonyan had 1 good year, and you're just going to give him for 10 years. But he's also with Aaron Rodgers. They air it out to everyone, spreads the ball around.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he caught
his
10
other tight ends
touchdowns.
had touchdowns as well.
Rudolph may never have had 10 touchdowns in a season. And we're not talking about, Kyle Rudolph, in the past. We're talking about guys who want to sign Rudolph right now. Who are they going to look at first, Rudolph or the guy who just caught 10 touchdown passes last year?
Just wait.
Tonyan.
We'll see.
We'll see how bad Kyle Rudolph is this year.
All right.
Anyways,
put some money.
Let's get through it here. But round out the rest of your list of the tight ends after that blasphemous take.
Yeah, I'm going to go with offensive lineman. I think we both got Williams at 1, if I'm not mistaken.
No, actually, I have Joe Tooney at 1.
Okay,
Tooney's a lot younger, and I had to factor that in when you talk about Trent Williams because, if we're just talking about pure talent, it's still Trent Williams.
Yeah. Dog, what a dog, man. I enjoy watching him play.
So he comes in at 2 for me, but I put Tooney 1 because the potential based on age and how he's already done too.
So you got Tooney at 1, I got Williams at 2, I got Schwartz, which was just released by the Chiefs.
He's the only reason I haven't included Schwartz in my list is because he did just get released too, and we'll talk about that in a second, what happened there.
And then I got 3, I got Tooney. 4, I got Fisher, was the other tackle that just got released. And then at 5, it's kind of my kicker, Kyle Long coming out of retirement. I think I really am excited to see him play, so I put him in at 5.
I did like that a lot, but obviously for me, Corey Linsley in the Packers doesn't get enough credit. A lot of people don't really talk about O-linemen that much. So when they hit the market, stuff like that, you're like, why did this guy sign for $8 million? How'd this guy get $12 million? Well, it's because they're just not talked about. They're not heralded enough.
It's literally the least talked about position, and they're one of the most important. It's upsetting.
Exactly. So for 3 for me was Corey Linsley, the center from the Packers, who hit free agency. He's the guy who could be a Pro Bowler any year. Gabe Jackson from the Raiders, another one, really great player. And then finally for me, rounding it off, obviously missing out on Mitchell Schwartz. I have Alex Mack, who's been a Pro Bowl center.
Yeah,
for like
he's
the last
really good.
Decade.
He's just older. Yeah.
He's just older.
But he's still playing pretty high level.
Same thing with Trent Williams. You know, what I mean? Both are old, but they're still playing at a really high level. But aside from that, when we totally forgot to mention it because it wasn't written in, but Mitchell Schwartz and
Fisher
getting released. That was just wild.
When I saw that, it just blew my mind. Got to work on the offensive line. Let's just get rid probably the best 2 offensive linemen we have.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, I trust in Veach, so, we just got to see what he does in the draft and hopefully maybe get someone to free agency. I don't know. Their cap's, really tight right now, so.
Yeah. So going into the D-tackle position, there's a bunch of old guys here. Mm-hmm. Kawan Short, Sheldon Rankins for me, Ndamukong Suh, Larry Ogunjobi, and then another young guy, Devon Godchow. That was really it for the D-tackle. Was another very weak position in this class.
I think we got pretty much the same guys, just in different orders. I got Sue at 1, coming off Super Bowl. He is getting old, but you're looking at a dude that's probably gonna have to get double teamed almost majority of the time. So that's big in itself.
Some I would say some sleepers here at DN too, getting off of D tackles and going to DNs. Trey Hendrickson, who should have been a Pro Bowler last year, that might be the biggest Number he had 12 and a half sacks last year. Needs to be there. Ngakwe, who bounced around a couple teams last year, just some off-the-field issues, I guess, but produced nonetheless. He's number 2 for me. Olivier Vernon, strong year, had that big injury at the end towards the playoffs. That's going to hurt him going into next year. But
still was playing at
I'm just going based pure talent. He's 3 for me. And then 4, an old guy, Ryan Kerrigan. And then 5, sleeper, Carl Lawson. Not talked about nearly enough on a bad Bengals team. Yep. Very solid pass rusher.
Yeah, I got the same exact list for DNs as you. And then going on to linebackers?
Oh, yeah, and here's the one.
Here's another good class right here.
So, Shaq Barrett.
Easy. I think that's just what
Shaq Barrett, Hassan Reddick, who had a 5-sack game last year. Kyle Van Noy, who was just cut from the Dolphins. 4, Matt Judon, and then Leonard Floyd at 5th for me. Just wow, what a class. But Barrett might get $20 million a year.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the best people in free agency right now, if you ask me. 2, I got Bud Dupree.
Didn't like that at all.
Yeah, but
I think he's entirely overrated, playing right next to T.J. Watt. I'm sorry, that might be my hot take.
No, that's your hot take for sure.
I don't like him. I never have.
Let's hear that. So we got 2 hot takes today so far. 1 for me, 1 for Colin.
His was way worse though. So much worse.
We'll see who comes to bite each other's in the ass. We'll see. So 3, Van Noy for me. 4 was Reddick, and 5 was Matt Judon. These guys.
I like Judon a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most productive last year, but a solid nonetheless. Going into corners now, William Jackson, head and shoulders above everybody in this class. Young.
Yeah.
Very, very good corner again on a Bengals team where he doesn't get enough credit. And it's just what it is. But then you got older guys like Pat Pete. I have him at 2. I know
him at 2 as well.
You have him at 2. Now, we swapped both of these here. I have J.C. Jackson at 3, Sherman at 4. You have it flipped, right?
Sherman. Yeah, I got Sherman at 3 and then J.C. Jackson at 4.
The thing is, J.C. Jackson benefits a lot from playing next to Stephon Gilmore, and he's targeted a lot. But I can't, disrespect that he was 2nd in interceptions last year with 8 or 9
me either. But what I'm looking at, why I got Pat Pete and Sherman so high is because their knowledge they bring to the game as well.
That's
what
fair.
They'll do for the room as well. Being able to coach the other corners up too and give their insights and what they know about the game as well.
I just think J.C. Jackson, with the combination of being young and his athleticism, I put him over Sherman. And then 5th, I think I have Shaq Griffin.
I have Shaq Griffin.
Shaq Griffin, very good young corner as well. Struggled a little bit last year in a poor Seahawks defense. Finally getting into our safeties and our kickers before we give our predictions. Safeties, man, this one was pretty good too. I'd say this was a pretty nice little class. Anthony Harris,
without a doubt,
who didn't get tagged this year, by the way. They did not tag him. John Johnson.
Yep, number 2 for me.
Very good too as well. Keanu Neil, who was a Pro Bowl caliber safety, fell off a little bit with a bad Falcons team, but great player regardless. And then you got Malik Hooker, who, if he can stay healthy, He's one of the best safeties in the league.
He's got a lot of upside, man.
So much athleticism, dude. Just pure raw. Did you see that? I'm pretty sure it was last year where he had the one-handed interception in the end zone.
That was filthy.
So gross. So gross. And then finally, Lamarcus Joyner at 5.
Yeah, well, I got Sorensen at 5. He's really stepped up the last couple years making plays.
Because he loves the Chiefs.
Bro, you're not going to sit here and say this.
I'm not going to say he wasn't bad. He was pretty good last year. And I'm still not putting him over him. Sorry, I can't put him over Joyner because I don't have
give this many cares.
Whatever. So and then special teams. Just gonna run through Young Wei. I can't get that name right. Young Wei Koo. Right?
Young Ho Koo.
No, it's not Young Ho. It's Young Wei.
Young Wei.
Young Ho is just the complete wrong. It's so wrong. It's not even funny how wrong that is.
Sounds nice.
But young Wei Koo, he got re-signed, I believe. So it's not even a matter. But he was definitely the best Pro Bowl kicker out there. Thomas Morstead, who's been a great, maybe a Hall of Fame punter, if you consider punters Hall of Famers. Only one I'd ever consider is Pat McAfee.
Oh my God! Don't start this again.
Yeah, I won't. But Kyle Juszczyk, obviously great player. Matt Prater and Dustin Hopkins.
What a leg on Prater, man.
The longest kick ever. Young Hoku. So now it's time. Let's get into our free agent predictions. And so I'll lead us off right here and just go from the top. I think the Dolphins this year, what they're going to do is, I think they take that Bill Belichick style approach. I know you talked about it a little bit, because Flores is from Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. He's a disciple. I think they go either really big here with the receiver or a linebacker. That Van Noy move, what they just did with that, I think that really shows that they're working these extra little cap space things to try to get somebody really big.
And it's going to be really interesting because they also have a really good pick, too. So who would they do? That's what I'm saying. So, but number 3, I mean, if you go big at a receiver now, you're not going big 3 receiver unless you're really trying.
So, and we're getting the draft talk once we get closer.
The Dolphins, it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Other than that, I think the Jaguars having the most cap space in the NFL this year, they're going to go big.
Got to.
If they're going to go big, and the thing is, they might overpay for some people that in other years. It would be very unfortunate, but I think they spend big this year to get someone coming in for Trevor because. Let's be real here. You
don't want another Joe Burrow situation. Have a great talent, have him play good. But, I mean, I think Trevor's just going to be an all-right quarterback.
We'll get into that later because that might be the biggest, most blasphemous mistake
another hot take.
Don't even say it. We'll save that one because that's going to be clickbait for our video, all right? But other than that, Patriots, man, I think they're going to play it safe. They have the 3rd most cap this year. But again,
I think
it's just not Bill Belichick's. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's just not Bill Belichick's style to go out and get these big name guys. I don't see them targeting a Shaq Barrett.
I don't see them getting something big like that. But I mean, with them bringing Cam back, I think they're really gonna be run heavy. So they might have to get another offensive lineman. They might draft. We'll see. But I do see them going out and making some plays. Yeah.
Of course, and I can see them signing Juju. No joke, I can see them signing Juju Smith. Other than that, the Saints and the Rams, they're going to pay the price this year. They're so far under the cap this year that it's really almost gross how bad they've mismanaged their franchise as far as salaries and stuff.
And it doesn't help with this cap being,
Yeah, well, even with it being decreased, now they're even more under.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
They're in salary cap hell right now, and I don't expect them to get out of that anytime soon. Nope. It's bad.
And then, like I was saying earlier, I think AB and Gronk is going to re-sign with the Buccaneers. I don't think it's going to be any massive deals. I think they stay with their boy Tom. They have good. What they got going on is good. They're bringing back a lot of pieces, and I know you said that they almost run it back because.
And here's the thing: I said that they're almost going to run it back, mainly because I don't expect Shaq Barrett back.
They don't got the money for it.
They don't have the money, and that's one of the biggest pieces I felt like to that defense. So they almost run it back, but not without Shaq Barrett. They don't.
I could see him still pulling it off. We'll see.
Well, I'm just speaking on the fact that their whole team won't be back together, and that's such a huge piece of their defense.
A big piece.
Another thing too is and this is really a prediction of mine is, I think it's going to play out. There's no market for Aaron Jones. I think where his value should be, he's going to get paid a lot less because with the salary cap issues.
Yeah, that's what it hurts a lot.
With the devaluation of the running back position, it's going to hurt Aaron Jones.
Yeah, he's worth good money, but he's, like you said, probably not going to get his worth.
That's another player I could see the Dolphins going in on if they go for the cheaper receiver option. But other than that, I don't expect there to be much of a market for really any of those running backs, but namely Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Because, he is the biggest name.
And then this is the thing. O-linemen and receivers, they're going to get paid this year. so much money because there's such a good
Yeah.
year to be an O-lineman and a receiver. And again, I would say overall it's a little bit of a weaker free agent class, you know what I mean? In just terms of overall top players and depth at all positions. So, I mean, you look at the receiver, how deep that position is, and how, like, just the big names coming from there in the O-line, they're going to get the big bucks this year.
Nice to see.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So stay tuned for free agency. Come back to this video. We do want to let you know before we leave here, we did start a Patreon page. There's different tiers and stuff like that. It starts at $3, can go up to $25 based on subscription and membership. You guys can get a lot of different things, from new merchandise we're putting out all the way to rewards where you can come on the show and film with us for skits and stuff like that. So do look into that. The link will be in the description below. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. We really enjoyed making it for you.
Yeah, it was one of the best weeks. A lot of information, a lot of things happening, and next week's going to be just as crazy, so tune in.
Yeah, and rest in peace to your grandfather, man.
Thank you.
Very
Appreciate
special man.
that,
I'm so glad he was able to watch some of our videos.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm Dobby.
And I'm Matthew.
And this was Inside the Pylon.